A to Z Interactive, the developers behind Survive the Nights, have once again dropped another awesome update. The last one was the sewers, and the sewers, really quite cool. Not too much down there at the moment, but it is a good foundation for something that is going to be coming in the future. They have said they want to expand on that and upgrade things underneath the cities over time to make the world feel more livable and have much more awesome locations to explore. The POIs they've added over the past few years have been awesome. The prison, the military base, loads of cool stuff has been added, introduced and upgraded since they started developing the game. Now, it's been in development for a hell of a long time, and they do poke some fun at that in the latest dev letter from them. But with that development process, they have vastly improved the game over the last few years, and they're still going today with some awesome quality of life improvements and tons of other things like true offline mode. Being able to quickly add things to a fire and items into your vehicles, loads of optimizations for performance and smoother driving, as well as better fortification snapping, which is a massive part if you are into that base defense and building grind that the game can offer if you want to go down that route. And if that sounds good to you and you like the idea of Survive the Nights but haven't checked it out yet, I'd highly recommend it, and make sure you subscribe to the channel because we've got tons of Survive the Nights content in our back catalogue. We're probably going to do some more upgraded sort of how-tos and demo videos as well later down the line, but I want to see what their next few upgrades are. Development has continued and they keep adding more things. So all of the older stuff that I've put out, all of the guides, they're pretty obsolete. I have done a pretty much updated rerun of how you can get into powered systems and how you can get into some of the high level POIs for the best gear. We did those recently and those still work relatively well. But we'll see how they go with the updating over the next few weeks. I think towards the back end of 2025, they may sort of slow down. They've not really announced anything else that they're going to be doing, but we'll have to wait and see what they do with Survive the Nights. It won't be development forever, I highly doubt, and whether they'll move on to different types of games, I'm really not 100% sure. But overall, what they've done in these updates recently have vastly improved the quality of life, so hats off to the guys for that one. Now, this is patch 1.39. As I've said, it features loads and loads of cool stuff, but I think one of the more notable improvements is definitely the driving quality, a smoother driving experience, because driving in the game overall can be a little bit of a slog, especially if you're speeding and going over long distances. Things can go a little bit tits up with the vehicles, so having that smoothed out a little bit more is going to be great. As well as that, they've added a party system, an offline mode, and optimization, as well as fixes to the sewers. A database increment will be required for this update though, but with version 1.0 just around the corner, this should be one of the last wipes that you'll ever have to deal with. We're going to focus heavily on polishing things up for the best possible release coming out of early access, with the party system being the second most requested feature next to real single player. The party system allows players to chat, share XP, and has its own ranks, name tags, along with friendly fire blockers. You'll be able to add various commands into your party, such as promoting, disbanding, upgrading, loads and loads of cool stuff in there that you'll be able to do if that's what you're into, as well as a dedicated party chat. Then, the number one request is true offline mode. True single player. It is now there. Hop into a world save setting, flip the single player toggle on, which sets it to true behind the scenes, and connects via a local host to play with zero internet. Auto pause, stepping away from the keyboard in a single player, the whole world freezes, zombies included, so you'll be able to jump back in and out of the game as and when you choose. Heads up, Steam achievements and stats aren't tracking whilst you're offline. They do still need a live Steam connection, so you will need to make at least one connection with the internet enabled to authenticate with Steam, but after that, there's no more internet needed. They do hope that this helps and players get into that single player zone if that's what you're really into. But if that does come with any issues, make sure you let the team know on Discord, as this is a fully fledged update. It's not going into a beta branch. It is now available for everybody. As well as that, more quality of life improvements, such as being able to add things by holding the plus and minus icons over various items, such as storage, such as wood tanks, fuel, going into fuel on generators, all of that good stuff. You just be able to hold the button now, rather than clicking it 10 or 20 times to add various fuel and fire items. And then, as mentioned, a whole host of optimizations and performance. They're pushing really hard on that optimization and performance front. The sector lag is practically gone. The entire project just seems far more fluid now. There's also been major performance boosts to server, world loading, zombie hordes, startup, vegetation, barricades, power stations, sound dampening, and all kinds of really nice polish to help push the game towards a solid 1.0 release. Everyone should see a major improvement to performance across the board, with higher frame rates overall, significantly reduced world loading lag, and they've supported AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution 3 for default anti-aliasing. Aliasing, is that how you say that word? I always get it wrong. That one. Yeah, that one. Mode in the game. FSR3 boosts performance by rendering at a lower resolution and upscaling the image to maintain sharpness and detail at higher settings, and it will also look cleaner than traditional anti-settings, with smoother edges and fewer artifacts without the same performance cost. It'll work on modern GPU types, not just AMD cards, so everyone can benefit from this upgrade regardless of your hardware. You can still switch to other options in graphic settings if you wish, but FSR3 offers solid balance of visuals and performance by default. And with this as well, they've also enabled smoother driving, a massive improvement to vehicles and driving mechanics. Players will instantly notice how much smoother driving the map feels due to the efforts of optimization. Check out the short video, which is playing in the background, and enjoy the smoothness. Keep in mind that watching the video, JB is driving and his skills are pretty unmatched, so don't be too jealous. Now, I do love the driving in the game. I enjoy it when it's working correctly, but a lot of times it will be very juddery, so I'm glad they've improved this. And I have played a little bit of this update, only about 15 minutes so far, because I've not long got back off holiday at the time of recording this video. So overall, I do think the update is much better. It looks better, runs better, doesn't take as long to load. Beforehand, I'd have to shut everything down on my computer to even run Survive the Nights. Now I can play with other things running in the background, which with every other game I can, that was always been the way. But with Survive the Nights, once I've got it in and loaded, it was fine. I could do whatever, have some music on in the background. But yeah, when loading into a game, it was a bit of a pain in the ass. So now they've improved things like that and made this driving experience much better. I do think it's going to be a more enjoyable experience for everyone. They've also added owner tags on vehicles, so it should make figuring out whose car a little bit easier than what it originally was. Another great improvement is vehicle fuel now works on a dynamic load system. So this is based on engine load. The faster you're going, the more fuel you'll use. But that does mean that you can sit down and idle anywhere, and your fuel usage won't drop down as drastically. But if you're going out there absolutely ragging it around, you'll drop fuel a little bit more, rather than your vehicle just being static and you losing fuel over time regardless of what was going on. So they have said that that should make things a little bit easier. Obviously, if you're not bombing it around everywhere and a bit more conservative with your fuel usage, things will be okay. But if you're trying to get everywhere at 100 miles an hour, then yeah, fuel's going to rocket up pretty damn quickly. Now, one of my favourite things for this update is fortification snapping. We've added fortification placement snapping to any pre-placed fortifications, making walls and zombie blockers never easier or neater, which is brilliant. Absolutely love this. Just a little quality of life feature that allows you to just snap it all together rather than having to judge and guess, and then something being ever so slightly out, so it throws your whole design out of whack, especially if you are a bit of a neat freak. So I do love this. I'm definitely going to be trying out a single player playthrough again. I think we might do like a 0 to 20 and try and survive 20 days on sort of like a hardcore setting. If that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. For today though, we are going to wrap that one up there. There are various other bug fixes and optimizations in there, but a lot of them relatively small. So these are great. The most notable ones are what we've gone over so far. But as you can see, there's just a new few things here. New recipes that have been introduced or changed and fixed, police station door exits working properly, low FPS that was caused by barricades, various location-based achievements weren't working, or rare electrical system errors. Tons of fixes in there as well. So great news overall. What do you guys think though? Are you looking forward to some more Survive the Nights? Are you ready for the 1.0 launch? Let me know in the comments down below. For now though, up and wide, you've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.